Number 21, he promised to lock up Hillary Clinton for using a private email server. He didn't. Funny enough, Trump uses his personal cell phone for official business, and several members of his own administration, including Jared Kushner and Ivanka, have used private email in the White House. Number 22, he promised to use his business experience to whip the federal government into shape. He hasn't. His White House is in permanent chaos. He caused the longest government shutdown in our nation's history when he didn't get funding for his wall. Number 23, he promised to end DACA. The Supreme Court ruled that his plan to deport 700,000 young immigrants was unconstitutional, and DACA still stands. Number 24, he promised 6 weeks of paid maternity leave
to any mother with a newborn child whose employer does not provide the benefit.
He hasn't delivered. Number 25, he promised to bring an end to Kim Jong-un's nuclear program. Kim is expanding North Korea's nuclear program. Number 26, he said he would distance himself from his businesses while in office. He continues to make money from his properties and maintain his grip on his real estate empire. Number 27, he said he'd force companies to keep jobs in America.
There will be a major border tax on these companies that are leaving.
Since he took office, companies like GE, Carrier, Ford, and Harley-Davidson have continued to outsource thousands of jobs while still receiving massive tax breaks. And offshoring by federal contractors has increased. Number 28, he promised to end the opioid crisis. Americans are now more likely to die from an opioid overdose than a car accident. Number 29, he said he'd release his tax returns. It's been nearly 4 years. He has not released his tax returns. Number 30, he promised to tear up the Iran nuclear deal and renegotiate a better one. Negotiations have gone nowhere, and he brought us to the brink of war. Number 31, he promised to enact term limits for all members of Congress. He's not even tried to enact term limits. Number 32, he promised that China would pay for tariffs on imported goods. His trade war has cost U.S. consumers $34 billion a year, eliminated 300,000 American jobs, and cost American taxpayers $22 billion in subsidies for farmers hurt by the tariffs. Number 33, he promised to push colleges to cut the skyrocketing costs of tuition. Instead, he's made it easier for for-profit colleges to defraud students, and tuition is still rising. Number 34, he promised to protect American steel jobs. The steel industry continues to lose jobs. Number 35, he promised tax cuts for the wealthy and corporations would spur economic growth and pay for themselves. His tax cuts will add $2 trillion to the federal deficit. Number 36, after pulling out of the Paris Climate Accord, he said he'd negotiate a better deal on the environment. He hasn't attempted to negotiate any deal. Number 37, he promised that the many women who accused him of sexual misconduct, quote, will be sued after the election is over. He hasn't sued them, presumably because he doesn't want the truth to come out. Number 38, he promised to bring back all troops from Afghanistan. He now says, we'll always have somebody there. Number 39, he pledged to put America first. Instead, he's deferred to dictators and authoritarians at America's expense and ostracized our allies who now laugh at us behind our back. Number 40, he promised to be the voice of the common people. He's made his rich friends richer, increased the political power of big corporations and the wealthy, and harmed working Americans. Don't let the liar-in-chief break any more promises. Vote him out in November.